In this module, we're going to be looking at how we use a writing tracker. It's really important that we set ourselves some boundaries and some deadlines, and that we keep on track of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So, things to think about. How long's the book? When you're going to start, and how long do you think it's going to take? Now, you might not actually know that at the moment. We talked about book lengths. If it's a Kindle book, something like 20 to 30,000 words would be cool. And if it's any other kind of book, then probably around 30 to 40,000 plus words. But it really, really does depend on the kind of book. So obviously you need a start date, because if you don't put in a start date, then you will never get started. And working out how long it will take really depends on how you like to write and how many words a day you can write. Now, I've got this thing called a writing calculator, and we'll just take a quick look at that in Excel. So this is your writing calculator. So let's say, for example, you're going to write 30,000 words and you're going to have 10 chapters. It'll tell you roughly how many words per chapter that you want. Now, bear in mind that some chapters will be longer, some will be shorter. I know in books that I'm writing, I have variable lengths of chapters. Some of them maybe only 500 words, because they're just short pieces of information that I want to impart. You need to look at how many days a week you're going to write, and also need to be considering how long it's going to be, how long you're going to take doing your editing. So if you go back to the original plan and look at how many days we've put aside for each of the different jobs that you've got to do, then that will help you work this out as well. And then simply, as you write some words, come over to your word tracker and pop the words in that you've done each day. So not only will that keep you on track, you'll actually see how many words you've got left to write, and that will keep you really, really focused. So do come and use the word tracker. So that's your writing planner. Now, the other thing to do is look at where you waste your time. Now, I know lots of people say they don't waste any time and they haven't got time to write. However, if you are going to write a book, no matter what kind of book it is, it's really important to work out where you spend your time and whether you're wasting any of that time. And are you spending your time in the right way? Are you just a busy fool? Now, whenever I am in writing mode or editing mode, I write for an hour in the morning and I write for an hour at night, and then I do quite a lot of writing on the weekend. And I do literally give up all kinds of soaps and different things on TV to absolutely focus on what I need to get done. Now, Covey has this time management tool, and this works across absolutely everything. It's not just for writing. And it's really looking at being over in this quality time quadrant, making sure that you've got about 80% of your time is quality time, and factoring in 20% of your time for firefighting things, because stuff always gets in the way. But what's really important now when we're thinking about writing our book is, where do we waste our time, and where do we allow things to distract us? So what would be a really, really good thing to do is sit and look at the next couple of days and put the activities that you're doing in one of these 4 quadrants. And then I would look at your time wasting and your distraction stuff and say, how do I get rid of that and turn it into quality writing time? And like I say, this will also focus you in terms of all activities that you do. So it's a great tool. So have a go at that. And then you will not be able to come back and say, I don't have time to write, because you will have found time wasting and distraction stuff that you can actually get rid of. So go back to our original plan and amend it to suit. So literally you're looking at how many words you're going to write, how you're going to get to first draft, how long you're going to spend on your outlines, and just amend this plan. So I've put the plan together so you've got plenty of time off, plenty of time for reflection, plenty of time for focused writing, so that in 90 days you can actually get your book written, edited and published, and have all things like getting it formatted and the cover design and all of that sort of stuff sorted. So just Be mindful of all the things that are going on in your life, find yourself some writing time and amend this schedule to suit you so that you can comfortably get to your publishing deadline. So just imagine if in 30 days you wrote 1,000 words a day, that's your first draft. First drafts are always rubbish, and I just advise you just put your fingers on the keyboard and just write. It will get done. And like I say, when I'm in writing and editing mode, I do an hour in the morning and I do an hour at night, and I get absolutely masses done. And I do the same thing when I'm editing. Now, if you don't know how long it's going to take you, one of the things you can do is just sit and write 1,000 words. Now, the great thing about just sitting and writing 1,000 words is if you stick the timer on, you can see how long it took. You can learn what your writing process is. You can also see whether you're distracted by anything. So again, you know very much that I like to write in silence. I like to write in bed, but I also like to have a clean desk. So there will be other environmental things that will affect the way that you write. So just do your first 1,000 words, pick any words, start anywhere, and find out how long it took and what else you learn about your writing process. What are you learning about how you like to write? Because once you found out how you like to write and what your process is, you just keep rinsing and repeating, and that will help you get through to that first and final draft. The other thing to do is, we said in the writing tracker, is to keep a written record. So this is another way of doing that, is to write down the date, the chapter you're working on, and the number of words, and any thoughts that come up around that chapter. So it may well be that you've done the outline and you've pulled all the structure together, and as you're writing, some other ideas come up. Just pop it in the thoughts column, because then you can come back and work out how you weave those thoughts back into this particular chapter. But it's also thinking about, so you're busy writing a particular chapter, something might come up that you need to reference somewhere else, well, you stick that in the thoughts section. And that's it. That's your writing tracker. So it's really important that you have a start date, and then you know how many days you're going to allocate for each of the different sections. So good luck with getting started and getting to first draft.